The chain rule. We said that if we have a complicated function and we want to find its derivative, we use the chain rule. This is a rule that we said that if we have f of g of x composite of f of g, we will say that dy over dx is dy over du times du over dx. So the first step, we suppose that which complicated one is u. Then after that, we define the derivation of dy to du. Then we find the derivation of du to dx. And we solved some questions, and we talked also about the special originalized chain rule. In this one, we said that if we have a composition of f of g of x, this derivative will be the derivative of the outside function evaluated with the inside and times the derivative of the inside. So here, the formula of the derivative of f of g of x is the derivative of the outside times the derivative of the inside function. And we solved some questions. We stopped here. Let's solve now number 16. In number 16 here, f of x is tan square root of x. I want now to find its derivative. We say that we can find the derivative of f of x or f prime of x by finding the derivative of the outside times the derivative of the inside. Now this is outside and this is the inside. And the derivative is the derivative of the outside times the derivative of the inside. This is the chain rule. Now what is the outside? It is tan. So what is the derivative of tan?
Secant square.
Secant squared square root of x times. Then I will find now the derivative of square root of x. What is the derivative of square root of x? Or x raised to the power half.
Half x to the power negative half.
Thank you. It's half x raised to the power negative half. So if I want now to rewrite it, I will say it is secant square plus square root of x over 2 square root of x. This is the derivative of secant square root of x. Let's now go to this one here. In this one here, in number 31, if y is equal cosine x, cosine of cosine x, find y prime. Here now, as you see, we have an outside function and there's an inside it. And there's an outside like f of g. So I will find the derivative of the outside times the derivative of the inside. And since this is the outside and this will be the inside. So now what is the derivative of the outside? What is the derivative of cosine?
Negative
Sign.
Negative. So I will put negative sine and don't forget the angle here, negative sine cosine x times. I will find the derivative of the cosine, which is inside, which will be negative also sine x. So this will be now the derivative, which is sine cosine sine of cosine x times sine x. Is it clear?
Yes, teacher. The angle
Yes,
is
teacher.
the cosine outside or the cosine inside?
The angle, this is the angle. The cosine inside. It's like, did you remember when you say cosine 45?
Okay.
The angle is inside. By the way, don't
Teacher.
forget. Yes.
تيتشر دانا ما عم تقدر تفوت على الكلاس. كلاس لايت عم بيضلوا يطلعوا وبيحكي له إنه في ايرور.
Oh. Yeah, now number 32. On number 32 here, y is sine tan 3x. Now look here. This one we have like f of g of h. We have sine of tan of 3x. In the previous one, we have cosine of cosine. Here we have sine of tan and then tan of 3x. So, like you have an outside times outside number, this is outside 1, outside 2, and here we have an inside. So its derivative will be the derivative of the outside, then the derivative of the outside number 2, then the derivative of the inside. Now, the first step, let's find the derivative of sine, the outside one, which is cosine.
Sine secant square.
Cosine. In the first step, I will write cosine tan 3x, because I told you I will write the derivative of the outside of sine, which is cosine. Then I will write now the derivative of tan, which is secant squared, and I will write 3x, don't forget it. Then I will find the derivative of 3x, which is 3. Then the final answer is 3 cosine tan 3x times secant squared 3x. It's like this. It's you have like, like you have sine of tan of 3x. It's like this. The first step, you will find the derivative of sine. The derivative of sine, as we wrote here, it is cosine. And since you write the sine, you must write the ones that under it. I mean, if you want to find the derivative of sine, you find its derivative, which is cosine, and you must write the included functions inside it, inside the sine. Then, after you finish find the derivation of sine, you will go now to find the derivation of tan. And since you find the derivation of tan, you must write what is under it, which is 3x. Secant and 3x. And then the last step, you will go now and you will now find the derivation of 3x, which is a 3. And since there's nothing down the 3x, you will write it only as a 3. Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
The others, please. Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
This one. This is not written in your book. I will write it now. I wrote it now, sorry. Y equal cosine of cotan of 4x squared minus 1. Find y prime. What do you have to do? The first step. Who can tell me? Here we have cosine
Cosine
of cotan of 4x squared minus 1. We go like this from the arrow. The first step, yes. What is the derivative of cosine? Yes, Tala.
Sine, negative sine.
we will make negative sign.
Negative sine. And then what you have to write inside it? Sorry.
Cotan for x squared minus 1.
Thank you. Now, Tala, she find the derivation of cosine and she wrote the ones that, or the functions that and that. Thank you, Tala. Then, yes, Hannah.
Yes,
Then after that, what you have to do?
the derivative of cotan.
Thank you. What is the derivative of cotan? Negative
Negative
cosecant.
secant square.
Thank you.
Cosecant square.
What you have to write inside it here?
4x squared minus 1.
Thank you. 4x squared minus 1. Now, Lana,
Yes, teacher.
then what you have to find? The derivation of what?
Derivation of 4x squared minus 1.
Thank you. So it will be
8x.
Yes. So now the final answer is negative or positive. There's no negative because it's cancel each other. So 8x sine cotan 4x squared minus 1 times cosecant squared of 4x squared minus 1. This is the derivation of this one. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, teacher.
Let's now do number 51. In number 51 here, find the second derivation in respect to x for y equal x cosine 5x minus sine squared of x. Here now, y number 51, y equal x cosine 5x minus sine squared of x. I want now to find y prime or dy over dx, the first derivative. Look at the first function. We have to use two rules, the chain rule and the power rule. The power rule, this is the first function and this is the second function. This is f and this is g. Then it is f g prime, the power rule, plus g f prime. Now, where is f? It is x. Where is g prime? This is g. So here, let's assume that f is x. So f prime, it will be 1. And g is cosine 5x. So g prime, it will be what? Here you have
Negative.
to use the chain rule. Negative,
Negative.
أيوة, sine
Negative sine x.
Negative sine
times what?
5
Times
times
5.
5.
Times 5.
Derivative of, yes. So f times g prime. G prime, we said it is negative 5 sine 5x. Then plus g, which is cosine 5x, times f prime, which is 1. This is now the derivation of the first one, minus now the derivation of secant squared of x. Secant square of x is like this, sine x squared. So its derivative will be 2. I told you yesterday, assume that this is u. So you will say 2u raised to the power 2 minus 1. And then I will write u as sine x. Then times the derivation of the inside. What is the derivation of sine now?
Cosine.
It's cosine x. Thank you. Then let's now rewrite it like negative 5x sine 5x plus cosine 5x minus 2 sine x times cosine x. Now what's this? This is the first derivative. I want now to find the second derivative. Look at now the first one. Here what did we have? Negative 5x sine 5x. Is it right?
Yes, yes.
So I will find now the derivative of this first one. The first function, f times g prime. G prime, as we said, I want to find, I will write here as this is f and this is g. So f times g prime. G prime, it will be cosine
Sine
5x
x
times what?
times 5.
Times 5. Thank you. Plus, let's continue now. We said f g prime plus g f prime. Now, where's g? It is sine
Sine
5x
5x.
times f prime. What is the derivation of negative 5x?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. So all of this sentence here belongs to this one. Now let's find the derivation of this one now. Plus, what is the derivation of cosine 5x?
Sine 5x.
Negative
Negative
sine
sine 5x
5x, thank you, times
5.
5. Thank you, Hannah. You will find now the derivation of the cosine 5x. Then minus, let's now go to find the derivative of 2 sine x cosine x. This is using the product rule. Let's say the first function, this is g, or this is f, and this is g. So the first function, f g prime times g prime. What is the derivative of cosine?
Negative sine.
Negative sine.
Negative sine.
Plus, we said it is f g prime plus g f prime time plus cosine x times, what is the derivative of 2 sine x? 2
cosine.
cosine x.
So
Thank you.
sine x.
Then now let's simplify it. Let's say now it is negative 25x cosine 5x plus or minus 5 sine 5x, then minus 5 sine 5x plus negative 2 sine squared x plus 2 cosine squared of x. Cosine times
Can I simplify
cosine
it?
sine. Yeah, I will know. Now, it says that there's no space here, but just look at negative 5 sine x, negative 5 sine x. Can we add them?
Yes.
Yes, it will
Yes,
be
yes,
negative x. Is it right?
yes, yes.
And then my plus negative or minus 2 sine squared x plus 2 cosine squared x. That's it. Here you have to continue, okay? Time plus this one. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Let's do now number 52. On number 52 here, y equal sine 3x squared. Let's find now the first and the second derivative. The first derivative, it will be the derivative of the outside times the derivative of the inside. What is the derivative of the outside now?
Cosine
Cosine.
times
3x squared.
Thank you. Times. What is the derivative of 3x squared?
6x.
3.
6x. Yes, thank you. So look here now. This is dy over dx. I want now to find the second derivative with respect to x. Here also, as you see, we have multiplied functions, and one of them you have to use the chain rule. So let's see. Oh, let's say, sorry, that this is f and this is g. So if f is cosine 3x squared, so f prime it will be. Yalla. What is the derivative of cosine? Negative sine.
Negative sine.
3x squared
Times.
times 6x.
Thank you. Now g, we suppose that g is 6x, so g prime it will be 6. Now the power rule, sorry, it is f g prime plus g prime f. Now where's f?
Cosine 3x
cosine.
squared.
Cosine 3x squared.
It is cosine 3x squared times g prime. Where's g prime? The 6. Yes, plus g prime. I think here.
6x.
Oh, wait. F times g, f times g prime plus g times f prime plus g, which is 6x times f prime.
Negative
f prime.
sine.
Yes.
Negative sine 3x squared times 6x.
Teacher, why in the f prime we multiplied 6x?
Here you find the derivative of the inside. The chain rule.
Okay.
Now then, let's now simplify it. It is 6 cosine 3x squared. 6x times 6x is negative.
Negative 36x. squared.
negative 36x squared times sine 3x squared. That's it. Is it clear?
Teacher times negative
Yes.
sign.
Now here I put the negative sign here. You mean this one,
Okay.
صح? I wrote it here.
Yes, teacher.